welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and we are moving on to round 2 in the How Do You Do challenge, which is a collaboration with 7 other creators here on YouTube and on Instagram as well, using all the same things. That we all got sent the same things, and then we can use whatever's in our own stash, our own supplies, and our own tools to add to it to make whatever we want. And the goal is to just see all the different things that people do with what they receive. And I have just been kind of going through bit by bit, making what comes to my brain. And then I've got a couple things that I've kind of put aside for other projects, like that. There was a little shark bag, and I have another project that would go really well with, and I think this napkin also would go really well with that other project. However, it might also go okay with this blue and brown project as well. Yes, I think it would. Okay, so I think in the end we may end up with 2 journals, but we'll see. 2 very, very distinctly different journals from each other. Okay, I'm not gonna mess with this for 10 minutes this time like I did last time. I'm just gonna grab a piece of tape so that I can get the back of this napkin off. I've got one ply off. This one, both plies came off at once, which gives me a thicker piece of something to play with. And I had washi tape here. I could pause and look for it. So if you're having trouble getting off that other piece of napkin, you just take a piece of tape. It could be washi tape, scotch tape, masking tape. It really doesn't matter. Just something that will stick to the back of it so you can get a grasp on it. I think some people kind of wet their finger. I think you can see why I didn't do that. Also, I still have some glue on my fingers. I just finished the first video and moved right into the second video. What do I want to do with? I think I want to. This one's got. I have some ideas. Since I've got the napkins out, maybe I will just play with napkins today. Here's the other one. Alright, let me grab. I'm going to take all the backs off the napkins and bring out all the napkins and play with those. Alright, this jumped out at me. You know me, I squirrel. It's just what I do. So these jumped out at me. I'm going to put this on here with one of these lovely stickers that one of our, I don't know which person did this, but they did some text stickers that they created in Photoshop. She will probably say who she is if she makes a video, so you know, watch all the videos and you can find out who made this. And printed them on clear sticker paper, so that is awesome. I'm very excited to use these. Where are my scissors? I think this one here, I hope you feel beautiful today, will be nice. I'm just gonna cut it out. Does it have to be perfect? No, because it's clear. It shouldn't show too much. And I might even put it on something else. But this is on cardstock, so it's okay if it kind of sticks off the edge a little bit. And you know what? I'm going to just glue it here and here so something can be tucked in there. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue. And how did I have it? Like this is how I liked it. So kind of go across here and up here. Kind of go down a little bit. I don't know how far that goes, and then that'll be a pocket. And this could go right there. Be super cute. So it could just be a journal card or a tag, or it could eventually be. Oh, I just got something on there. I paint on my finger, and I got it on the back of that. It's okay. And it's up there too. So you know, now it's in more than one place. So now it can look more on purpose. Anyway, I think I want that to be tag shaped. So you take that, you flip it over, and you do your other side to have fairly even-ish. It's not a perfect thing, but it's good. And there we go, easy peasy tag. Let's put that there so we can find it at the end of this video when we want to show what we made. Okay, I could have added some. Well, no, I think the napkin would have made it a little bit busy. Alright, I want to make some background pieces for my napkins before I add them on. Also, the clear napkins, I'm probably going to stamp on my clear napkins and then have some collage napkin-y things to use later in life. Aren't these? Look at the little kitty. So cute. Little gray kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Oh, I was going to take this off screen, wasn't I? I like how the kitties are kind of hiding in the flowers. So wouldn't it be fun to make like pockets that are like flowery and like have little kitty tags hiding in the pockets? That would be super cute. That's, you know, I probably won't remember that that's what I said and that was a thing I could do. But I think it would be fun and cool. Let's see. One of these I was thinking about adding to a page. Which one was it? Maybe this one. And not the whole page. I just kind of want like some for the corner up there. Now where this had ink on it, it rips a little bit weirdly, but that's okay. There's no grain in, or if there is a grain, it's not going to go across the corner like that. Alright, I want to put one in that corner, one in this corner. I do not know how this page will be used, if it will be used, whoops, see, yeah, it just wants to go straight across. Of course it does. I don't know if it will be used sideways or upside right or what. So if I do the two corners, come on, down, 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 then it should be fine. They're just a little bit different. They might show together or they might not. It's all good in the neighborhood. I am just going to use, it's too much. I need to take some of this out. It's just, I want to have writing space too, so. And now it's, alright, so you can use a water brush or you can use a brush with water to get the shape you want. I've got clean water for once. So, whoops, too much water. Just gonna do that and then I can get closer to the shape I want. And closer to the amount of napkin I want on there. I don't know. If I could have got it like that, it would have been nice. Alright, let's just put this in the corner. That's me in the corner. It's the word corner every time. Will just bring that song to my mind. Doesn't matter who says the word corner. Gail Gustinelli could be starting with the corners on her collage papers. And then, you know, that's me in the corner. Trying to, I can't remember words if I'm not singing. That's me in the corner, that's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. Those are the words I know. Sometimes I know more. Depends on the day. You don't need to watch. Alright, so I'll glue down the other corner and cut off any extra bits. Let's see. I'm going to put that up there. This piece that I cut off, I'm just going to put it there and cut it off. And then where's that other? Right here. And then if I wanted to make the paper feel more like the napkin, I could always put some ink on there. It's all good. It's okay. That's okay. Alright, I'm going to cut off the edges. So, napkin on a page to use in a journal. So if it was folded like this, it would look like that on one side. And like that on the other, like that on the other side. Or if it ends up being a page like this, then it would have, you know, washi tape or something connecting it to another page. Or just kind of fold that over in a tall journal and that would work as well. Alright, so that's two things so far. Let's see what else we can make. And we have all these really cool papers, and that would make a really cool tag. It's got some texture back here, so I probably would not want to cover the whole thing because I still want some of this to show, but one of these might be kind of fun on here. Alright, let's try the water again, see if we can do it better this time. Just going to come from this side. Anybody know where that, oh, too much water there. It's alright. Just, if it's dry where you are and you do the water thing, you might have to water, tear, water, tear. You might not be able to get the whole way down. I don't need a piece this big, but oh well. We're just going to keep going. But you know, if it's a rainy day like here, you might be okay. And then, just going to put this on the side here so that this still shows, but we got some fun napkin on there as well. And I'm just using glue stick to get it on there. I'm just going to do it like this and cut off the ends. Don't have sticky hands when you do this. I know some people use like a little bit of a cling film or saran wrap in between, like a clean piece that doesn't have any glue on it. Use a different piece every time to try to push that down without ripping it, which is a good idea. It's a very good idea. Let's see. Now this napkin is not necessarily in the same aesthetic family as some of the other things. I didn't see any aqua in anything else, did I? Oh, there is with the cats. There's like some jade green kind of. Alright, so there is one. It started. I reserve the right to do more things to the things that I start. I'm just kind of getting a start on some things and combining some of the things I've got in my stash. Let's see, let's cut this in half so we have 2 tags in the end. I'm assuming it's, no, it's not, it's 5.5 inches, so 2 3/4 inches would be, I can't see, can you see? I can't see, that's 2.5, whoops, I just cut it by accident, that's alright. We're gonna be, there we go. Make it 2 tall tag, 2 little tags. Ooh. You know what? I think I'm not going to do napkin on these. I think I'm just going to do something on the front of those. Ooh, actually, once I'm done using this, that might be kind of cool to use in the corner or something and still have a lot of that showing. Okay, sorry, I squirreled too soon. Looking for the pieces. So we got washi tape too. Don't forget about the washi tape. Napkins, we're doing stuff with napkins. Alright, so let me, I still have a little piece of this left. I'm going to do some painty papers or some inky papers or envelopes or something. Let me grab some of my junk mail envelopes. Okay, so, oops, I went through my box of envelopes thinking that, you know, there were some plain ones in here, but I think all my plain ones are upstairs. So I'm just going to use some that are already coffee dyed or decorated, already painted, because that's what I would have done on these. And if you want to see how I do painty papers, you can go check any of my mixed media videos, painty paper videos, gel plate print videos, any of those will give you an idea of how I make these. And these are just inks and stamps and whatnot. And then these just have a little bit of gel plate on the back. Let's see, because for like this, I would probably, I'm just going to cut it in half actually. I'm going to glue it down. Glue it, she said. Glue, 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 glue. I'm going to glue it closed. And going to, even though this is the back of the envelope, we're going to embrace that it's the back of the envelope because that's where the good stuff is. It's just plain on the back. Just gonna come across like this, and now I have 2 pockets, and I can go ahead and take one of my napkins. Which napkin? I don't know. A napkin that would look good on it. Wasn't there another flower napkin? Probably not that one, because we would lose a lot in the back. That one's really pink. This one might actually be the best one. It seemed to me there was one more napkin that I'm missing in my, I've got this one here, that is not in my eyeballs, but, and then we have a little bit of this black and white one left, little bits of it here and there. Alright, I think this one will actually work for this. I'll take that back. I was going to do some sprays, but then it already had some sprays. So I'm just going to glue some napkin on to these 2 pockets, which somehow are both like high on the left side. Let's see. Oh, that's got more on it. We'll put this on this side. All right, I'm gonna glue those down. Be right back. One thing I do when I glue them down is I try to come from the center out. Once you get it stuck down, that glue is gonna come through the napkin a little bit, so you wanna mess with it as little as possible. Fairly gentle with it as much as possible. All right, I'm gonna cut off my edge pieces. Now, if cutting off the edge of an envelope, without cutting your envelope is too hard to do, you can just make it so that your napkin is large enough to either line it up perfectly so you don't have to cut it off. That's not what I do. Or just make it large enough so you could just wrap it around and glue it to the back, and then you won't have to worry about cutting off your envelopes. So there's one. And there's two. So the napkins kind of look good with some painty papers in the back that you've used stencils and mark making and whatever. Ow! Even if they're like grungy like this, like these, I probably would go ahead and ink. And even wait for that to dry, but like where that's really white, I would probably just kind of come over it a little bit just to darken it up, because there's all that darkness over there as well. This was not a white background. You can see a little bit coming through of the background. Was this a white background? So napkins with white backgrounds are going to show more through than the napkins. Yeah, it does have a white background. So you can see a little bit. If you want to see more clearly through it, I'm not sure. I don't think wetting the napkin is going to work, because that's just going to make it too difficult to work with. It's going to rip your napkin to pieces. But you know, using a wet glue and then going over it with the wet glue, whether it be Mod Podge or a matte medium, a gel matte medium, or a gloss medium or whatever, that will help you to see through the white napkin better. You're never going to totally see through it. It's not like it's transparent. It's just semi-transparent, and it is nice when you can see some stuff coming through. Because I did the brown ink, that took away a lot of the whiteness. So, and you can do that ink afterwards. I took a big chance. That was in the last video. I actually put the napkin on the gel plate with some ink. When I say ink, I mean distress spray stains. And you know, I'm pretty lucky that it came back off the plate. There was a good chance that it wouldn't have. All right, so we have two pockets. I use envelopes. I figure everybody's got envelopes. If not, go check your mail. You might have some envelopes. All right, this is super cute. I think would work really great with this, especially if I could get it to be like here and here. If I get it in, like across like that would be nice. So let's just come down here. I'm going to do my water that I actually have clean water of today, and do my line. You can use a water brush or a brush with water on it. I'm not worried about perfection here. All right, that came down like that. That's okay. And I might even just keep it over the window or not. Or, this was the other thing I was thinking about doing. We'll see. Was just kind of coming around and taking out where the window is. Which might be easier to do after. Oh, now that I say that, I'm going to do that after I glue it down. Does that make sense? Do these flowers have a direction? Yeah, they kind of do. Alright, I'm going to try that again. I could let that napkin dry, but this is the direction. Alright, I'm going to try this again. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing crafts and whatnot, everything's not going to go exactly how you planned the first time. Alright, I think part of the reason that didn't go all the way over before is because it's the edge of the napkin, so there's a little bit more fortification on the end. Yeah, I should let that dry. So I am going to glue all the spaces around this window up to where the napkin goes. If I had a skinnier glue stick, that would be better. I like to use the Scotch Create. It's a permanent glue stick, but sometimes it is not in my budget to use, because sometimes they're hard to find, and so the prices suddenly go up. So when I don't have that available, what I do is I get Oohoo glue. Alright, Why was I thinking that was so much higher than it is? Did I have that turned the other way or something? I don't know. We're not going to stress about it, are we? This is supposed to, okay, so I could just, oops, just kind of fold that over. And then I don't have to worry about cutting off my, I mean, that was a little piece. I wouldn't really worry too much about it. Same here. I can just glue that over. There's something sticking to my thumb. Do you see that? And then I don't have to worry about cutting it off and possibly tearing the side of my pocket. All right. I need to let that dry. I'm too impatient. All right, let's see if we can make this work. I'm going to have water on my brush, but I'm going to take some of the water off my brush and kind of come in. Now remember, I didn't put glue on that part, so it should come off fairly easily, is what I'm hoping. I'm holding on over here, you know, with my sticky finger, so that's not too bright, but, and a little bit more. Not sure where the bottom of the window is. We'll find it eventually. I think right there might be the bottom of the window. There we go. Let's see, does it actually come down a little bit further? Because I wouldn't mind if that was actually more angled. Got some water. Take some water off. There's too much water. Oh, actually, that might be kind of cute if I just kind of, I don't think I can do that with glue stick. I'm going to grab my art glitter glue, she says, as it is not in front of her eyes. I throw stuff, I'm telling you. I'm going to put some art glitter glue under there too, so that will stay a little bit better. And what I want to do here is just kind of fold that down. So I'm going to put a little art glitter glue on the edge there, so that will stay down on that window. And do I want to do this one? I think I do, but I want to do it like I did this a little bit. There it is. Get some water on my brush, take some water off because that's too much. And I'm going to pull that over. I don't want the whole thing. I'm going to tear that there. Oops. And fold that over like I did the other one, and then it kind of looks like, I don't know, like I tore it down and folded it over. I don't know, it's something different to try. Try different things. You never know. Alright, and then we've got the turquoise up there, or the aqua, whatever you want to call it, brought down to the bottom of the thing. Alright, so napkin on a window envelope, and then I think this one's already cut down, so that will be a pocket on a page. Let's see. I do want to use this. This will be really cool in the journal. Which journal? The one that I used that dark fabric for, probably. Because I think that color is, well, it's not really. It's a little more purpley, somewhere in between those two, but you know, I may just do a whole bunch of reds, pinks, purples, and the yellow ochre in there with pops of blue here and there. Probably do. I don't really like that blue. It'd have to be the darkest blue I could do, really. So in that case, we would want whichever one would go best in that journal if we're going to do that journal. Ooh, let's do some of this. I think that would be fun. And you know, I don't mind that. Let's just do that. Ooh, crap. Sorry. I try to say crumbs instead, but sometimes other words come out. I just try not to say any words that would be too offensive. So that, it is showing through some, which is cool. And I'm just going to go ahead and fold that over on the top of that. I think that'll be cute. Showing there. And then just trim off the edges. See that? Even though that's a straight line, I think it kind of works there. It won't work everywhere. I know a lot. The reason that people rip napkins, in case you're wondering, is because they don't want the straight line. Because even though, you know, it does kind of go semi-transparent, obviously you can see the line. And a lot of times people don't want the line. But for this, I think it'll be fine and cool. So there's that one. And what we've done a tag, we've done some envelopes. Let's see, this one I think looks perfectly fine on the front. I mean, we got some grunginess happening there, but that's okay. But if I put it as a page in a journal, I'm going to want to do something back here. And let's see, in whatever journal they go in, these would go together. So I'm just going to cover this with one of these little kitty things. I'm just gonna, actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna cover this whole thing with it, with this here and with it closed. And then I'm gonna attempt to, oh no, maybe I'll leave that. Attempt to have it be all one piece across there. Does that make sense? So I'm going to line this up best I can so that I don't have to cut it off. Gently, gently, gently. So once this dries, I will carefully cut that. Well, maybe not once it dries. Maybe I'll do it now. Maybe I will just very softly, trying not to go through the paper, just through the napkin. In fact, even going kind of at an angle to try to get under. Yeah, gotta wait for it to dry. That is important. I just realized. Alright, I'm gonna cut this off and wait for this to dry and go to the next thing. Alright, I've got some drop paper from a previous thing. I'm gonna cut some of the lighter bits. I don't think it'll work on the darker bits. Well, I think actually it might still show. Alright, I'm gonna cut out some tag size pieces. I'll be right back. Okay, so I ripped it down, or cut it down to a smaller piece that would fit on my cutter, and then I cut one straight edge, which then helped me get all the other straight edges because I used that up at the top too. You know, it's all right. So this one I left long. I am going to fold it in half, and I'm going to make it into an, you know, a double tag that goes like this. I think they call it a Hermelinda because she was one of the people that came up with it, and I don't know, there's like 2 people that actually have their names on certain things. All right, my problem over here is that there's a little bit of a lip of sorts because that's where the fold was in the bag. So it doesn't want to go up there very easily. There we go. Yeah, that's not right. Did I not put it in the right one? I thought I had it in the right one. We're just going to trim off that little edge right there, which is making it. See, I knew there was more to be cut off there. There we go. So now it is a double journal tag. I might leave that on that side like that, although that will bother me. So, which do we want to use on here? Probably the one with the turquoise might make the most sense. Alright, so I'm just going to put a piece across the top here. So using, alright, so if you're, you know, not really knowing stuff about mixed media and whatnot, drop paper is the paper that I, like this paper here, and when I'm doing a lot with paints and stuff, I end up getting this really cool background paper, and because I used a paper bag, that makes it pretty sturdy, so that then I can use it to make either papers in journals, pages in journals, or ephemera, tags, pockets, whatever. And if I wanted it thicker, I could just back it with something. Or if there's something, or it's, you know, it's not too thick that I can't back it with something. Like this is writable, so this I will just leave the way it is. I won't back it with anything to make it thicker or stronger. I'm good with how it is. But like some of the other pieces have Stop and Shop on the back. So I will probably cover that with something just so we don't see a Stop and Shop on the back. Alright, so now double tag, just a little napkin on the back, on the top to cover where I had some paint I didn't like. And it looks really cool. But my idea really was to put the napkin on as a background and then add paint is really what my idea was, but I didn't have the right. Here, let's try this. It's very sticky here. This is not a good thing. Just grab some paper to cover the stick. All right. We're not going to want to cover the cats though, right? So let's go ahead and, where's the, you know what? We won't even know it's cats. It's just going to be background. I'm just going to cover this whole piece. Well, let's cover this side. This side's just white. It's just plain white. And you can totally use napkin as part of your background of whatever you're using. I think I will. Nope, that's not going to work. I was going to see about putting that kitty on the other side, but alright, gently. The kitties may get covered unless I'm like really careful about not covering them. So this one has to dry before I can do anything to it, so that's going to get set to the side. This one, I think I'm just going to add this napkin down in the corner here, cover up that, what was I trying to write? I don't know. Oh, no, I think it's a one. Oh, it's a number. Ha, that's what it is. Doesn't do any good without the other number that goes with it though, so don't worry. So, just gonna add napkin on this. So, you know, adding napkins to some of your mixed media papers is also nice. Makes for some nice ephemera. Ephemera. That did not get on there perfectly. That's alright. I can trim it up or just add some stamping or something to kind of hide that. Let's see. This is just some paper bag now, which has a big thick piece of something on there. I could have left it on there as texture, right? What do we still have? This, oh, that one. Just trying to use up all the napkin. I don't need to have any of this napkin left over. So I'm just going to add napkin to this, and this can be a pocket or tuck spot on a page. And yep, I have plenty of napkins. I don't need to have any napkins left over, is all I'm saying. Okay, let's see if this is dry enough yet. You probably could even just use water to do this instead of a sharp. Oh yeah, waiting for the glue to dry definitely made a difference. So I'm just kind of going underneath the, and it would have been much more difficult if I had tried to do the little closure too. Just the envelope flap is already a challenge in itself. But the reason I did it that way is so that it all matches up. There we go. I just might glue that down there. Or cut it off. There we go. So now, because this will probably be a page in a journal like this, sideways, you know, that'll be the flap. If I do it in a center of a signature, then, you know, once the strings are through there, I can close it, and, you know, it could just stay closed, and then I could cut the top and have the pocket go in that way if I wanted it to. Or I could add a flap to it to add it to another page. So, you know, probably doesn't make sense that I did that if it's possibly gonna, well, if it's gonna be the center, it will glue together and be super cute like that. But that was this the one I was doing as background? No, this is the one. Alright, we're gonna add some mixed media to this. We're gonna we're gonna use this as, it's still a little wet. It needs to dry. Let me see if I can heat gun it. So I'm just going to use, that says Gesso. It's Liquitex Gesso. I bought it in 2019. I decanted it into this. I don't know if the big gloopy bits are from it being old or from that container. I really have no idea. I want to use, I'm using the brush this time, I think. Alright, I'm going to use a grody. Oh, it's still wet. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. Nothing like a wet brush to totally distract me from what I was saying. I think I was talking about gesso, actually. So it might have been. Somebody asked me, what's the difference between gesso and acrylic paint? Well, gesso is, oh, and I was going to dry that, I forgot. Gesso is less opaque, and most of you know the difference between opaque and transparent. Opaque is the opposite of transparent. So it's less opaque than a white acrylic paint would be, and more chalky. So it won't be as shiny. You're going to be able to see through it a bit. But it adds like kind of a, it's a nice background medium. Generally it's used as a primer, like on canvases and stuff. But in the mixed media world, we definitely like to use it just for texture, for adding interest, and all that. In fact, let's go ahead and do that on a few of these. Never know that I just, alright, so I went years hardly ever using this stuff, and now I'm like, okay, I go through this thing. This particular bottle I just filled earlier this week. So, alright, if I go really gently, I can kind of pick up some of the, oh yeah, that's cool, the wrinkles that are in there. So, some people would be like, no, you got wrinkles. And some people would be like, ooh, I'm going to accentuate those wrinkles. Yeah, baby. Growing old gracefully. So that gives an interesting look. And kind of, it pushes the, it back into the background a little bit more. Like this is like a napkin. You can kind of tell it's a napkin. I'm going to leave the kitties alone. I want them to still kind of show, but I'm going to kind of make the rest of it a little bit more backgroundy, more, push it to the background a little bit. Where's some more of these pieces? Like this too, especially since it's so dark, because there was a lot on this piece back here. The white will just kind of bring out some, just kind of lighten it up a little bit. It's getting some of that texture from that napkin edge, which some people don't like, but I don't mind it. It's just, we consider it interest, don't we? A little bit more of this. Why am I trying to take off the whole cover? I don't know. I don't need a lot, I don't think. She says, and then, you know. So, you know, how you apply your gesso is totally depends on what you're looking for. I started out, I was like, oh, I'll use the credit card, but then I was like, no, I guess I want a little bit more subtle. So I pulled out the brush. If you use the card, it would definitely be still transparent because the card pulls away a lot of the, let's see if I can get any, there we go. So definitely a different look, especially if you kind of like press down like that with it. But that gives some interesting stuff too, and now I want to do that on some of these as well. If I can get it to do what it just did, it doesn't always. No matter how much you do things, and you know, every time you do it, it's going to do it a little bit differently every time. It's hit or miss, see, because you know, you might not pay attention. You might get a lot more on there than you thought was on your card, and that's okay. There we go. And that definitely pushed that way into the background. Where's another one I could push away? Where's the other one? Oh, this one. I'm going to push that one more into the background. Because this one, we're not even going to know it had cats on it by the time we're done. Maybe the white cat. I mean, they're cute cats. And I like the idea of like a book of flowers with the cats poking out in tags. I really think that's a really cute idea. It's just I kind of want to, the point of this one is to make it a background. Like add mediums to it that where you might see bits of the napkin coming through, but you've turned it into a background. Just other ways to use napkins. That's all. And then let's see, how much napkin do we have left? Because like I said, I want to use all the napkin. We still have some of these kitties here. All right. This envelope, it opens. So I wonder if I might use it like this in the journal and make it like a belly band. So in that case, how I put my, so I try to think about those things before I go ahead and glue the, before I go ahead and glue the napkin on. I need another, this is still sticky. This one, I want to add some stamping behind the napkin. You could do it on top of the napkin or behind, it doesn't really matter. The only difference would be that it'll be a little bit pushed into the background more if you put it behind. So there's that. So this time I'm putting it behind. Probably should wait for it to dry. I mean, it is a porous surface, but that doesn't mean anything. And then I'm just gonna kind of use my brush with water, which is not quite as clean as it was at first, but that's okay. And just kind of come across like that. I don't need an exact line, I'm just trying to have it be interesting on the thing. Alright. And I'm going to do, like before, I'm going to glue this down and then I will cut that afterwards. Alright, where's the glue? And I'm just going to use my glue stick again. Glue stick? Like I said, I have these things and then they're right in front of my face, but I can't see them. Alright. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but for the last couple of weeks, I have been releasing videos Friday through Monday. That seems to work best for me. The only thing is, if I actually get a chance to make my videos earlier in the week, it makes it a little bit harder to wait until Friday to do that. Because, you know, I'm just weird like that. Let's do this side too. Oh, this side's not going to show, so it won't matter. If I'm going to use it the way I think I'm going to use it, I'm just going to fold this over. So, you know, hopefully you'll get a minimum of 4 videos a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And I figure if you don't get to see it on the weekend, you've got the week to make up for it on the ones, you know, you don't have to watch all my videos. You can pick and choose the ones that interest you. It's okay. I appreciate when you do watch. I know some people skip to the end, and that's fine too. Oops, that's not useful. Yeah, the wet Kleenex is not super useful. So once that dries, I'll do like I did. I'll take my X-Acto knife to cut that line. It's just easier to do it that way than to whatever. I don't know. Than to what? It's easier to do that way than to try to cut your napkin and glue it down to match. That's, I think, what I'm saying. So here's a couple of our background pieces. I'm going to turn that upside down so that I don't pay so much. Alright, we've got that one's done. This one, I might add a focal point at some time, but that is done for now. It could either be a pocket on a page or it could be a tag or journal card. What's this one? Oh, I didn't add anything to that yet. This one, same thing. No, it's not. I want to add a little bit of something. I had one of my mixed media stamps over here earlier. Alright, let's do a little bit of script, because script is always nice. I'm going to just keep doing the brown, because I like the brown. And just kind of do a little bit here. Whoops, it got crooked. Well, you know, if it gets crooked, just do it. It's just background. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So now a lot of the ink is off of this. So now I'll probably just kind of like press down there and then bring it to the top and press up there, which leaves space in the middle. I'm going to do it again over here. There we go. It's not fully covering. It's in some spaces. And that works for me. And then this one, here, we're going to treat this like it's drop paper. And this is what would happen on drop paper. It would not go on there perfectly straight and even. So, and then a lot of times I like the drop paper the best. So that's one of the reasons I'm trying to loosen up with that. All right, now let's see. This needs a little brightening. So I think it is time to bring in some bubble wrap and some white paint. already have the white gesso on there, so I'm actually going to use the buttermilk, because I know I've got that in some places in the journals that I'll be making. These won't necessarily go in these journals. They can go anywhere where they work the best. But do you think I could find the bubble wrap that I like just had? No, I couldn't. So we're gonna use this, and gonna go like that. It brightens it up a little bit. It cohesifies those two very separate things, and now they look like one piece instead of two pieces. That was not a reference to a TV show. My boys watch that, I think. I think they're like, you know, 1/10 of the way through the whole series. So apparently there's a lot of episodes. One Piece is what is that? I said the word, you know, if you've never heard of the TV show One Piece, then you're like, what the heck is she talking about? But if you have, then you know. So like that's super subtle. That's a little bit thicker there, but that's okay. I get this from the embroidery section at Joanne Fabrics. Joanne Fabrics. So, you know, whatever craft store you have near you, check the embroidery section for any of these like plastic pieces. There's smaller circles in this. There's big rectangles. Some of them have smaller, whatchamacallit, and some of them have bigger. I really want to add some inks to this. But I don't know that I have enough gesso back there to not like disintegrate the napkin. That's the only thing. And then I'm just going to leave that like that. When it dries, I'll pick it up and that'll be something cool. I could use this technique on any of the pieces I've made, and especially if they get used in the same journal. It'll just be really cool. That or the bubble wrap or just anything. Using it in more than one place makes me happy. I think I'm going to use this since now I know where it is. I've got brown already. You know what? Turquoise. We've got some turquoise in here in most of these places. So I just used this a minute ago, didn't I? So I'll use, oh my goodness, turquoise. Well, it's actually called Warm Breeze, but it's kind of a tealy turquoise. And I'll use it full on this one. Well, not full on. I'm pressing on the corner, but I mean, it'll be a first stamping. It's kind of pressing the side there. It's getting on there a little bit here and there and down there. Just adds a little something. Add to this one too. This is one stamp that I do try to get straight at least, but it just adds that little bit. It is a little bit more green than teal because there was brown on this. And then on this one, it almost covers the whole thing. So I'm going to kind of lay it on the left here and kind of press over to the left. And then I'm going to bring it to the right. Kind of try to line that up to the right and press on the right, and that way I don't have like super straight lines anywhere, and it has also just pushed everything to the back. There's no cats left. No cats left behind. Okay, we did it on that one. Let's do it on this one because it was like, it's like the perfect color. It looks like I'm laying the whole thing down. I'm not. Oh, actually, it would have been perfect in there. Oh, man. That's all right. I'll put some, where is it? Some script in there. Sometimes, if I have, like, blank space like that, I just kind of like to ink it up and then maybe add a little bit of stamping of some sort. So when I do napkins, I don't always just do napkins. A lot of times I will add some stamping or stenciling or any, you know, whatever it is I want, really. And it just adds layers and adds interest. Alright, so this is the background now. You can't see the cats. Well, that cat's showing through a little bit, but you can't really see the cats anymore. You can't really, oh, I wanted to do some sprays, right? That's right. Is there anything left on this? Actually, this will help protect the napkin a little bit more too. I don't want a lot of it though. I just want Oh, another thing you could do, whether you're using gesso or paint or whatever, you could use your brayer and just kind of gently, don't press hard. Oh, that didn't even, I don't have enough on there. I am pressing hard now because I just didn't have a lot of paint on there to worry about it. If there was a lot more paint on there, I would have pressed much more gently. Right now I'm just kind of trying to protect the napkin back there because I want to use some wet stuff. I just did the heat dryer on there. Let's see, I've got wild honey here. I'm gonna kind of spray that in a couple places, and the blue. Do I want to add some blue? I don't want it to turn green if I do add blue. So what was one of the other colors we had? Oh, brown. How now, brown cow? Let's add a little bit of brown. Whoops. Hey, it's working this time. It wasn't before. All right, I'm going to dry that with the heat dryer. So I've dried it now, and you can see that, you know, adding the inks brought out some of the texture underneath that you couldn't really see before, some of the wrinkles and whatnot, and I can bring those out a little bit more by adding some gesso again. I know I use gesso in the first layer a lot. It is not just for, it's not for just the first layer. It can be for any of the layers. So I'm just gonna kind of brayer that on there lightly. And that, I'm hoping that will bring out some of like the wrinkles and stuff. Maybe not. Maybe I'd rather use what? Oh, my brush is in the water, so it's like super wet, but let's see, I had all my scrapers were there earlier, but none of them are there now. Let's just, a little dry brushing. Would have been more dry if I had, there we go. If I took off more of the paint is what I was trying to, finish your thought, Darcy, finish your thought. Now with gesso especially, I don't know, it's acrylic paints maybe too, but definitely with gesso, if you have put like distress inks on there, they will wick up through the gesso, which you might like. You might want that, you might not want that. It's okay. There's no right or wrong. I'm just kind of vignetting my corners a little bit, just adding a little bit. Well, it's usually darkening the corners is vignetting, so don't think that's the right word, but all right, I'm gonna flash that with a heat gun real quick. I want to bring in this color. I don't have that color in an ink, so I am going to water it down. Oh, it's going to mix with the cream, that's okay. And I'm just going to kind of press it down just to get some of that color on there. If I watered it down more, it might look a little bit more inky, but this works too. I just wanted to get some of that particular color on there. And I did. I succeeded. So now we have a background. You can see a little bit of the napkin peeking through, so it is giving interest to the background. And I tried to make sure that it was completely dry in between each step so I wouldn't rip the napkin up. I tried to put enough gesso and paint on it as well to help protect the napkin a little bit. That is one of the things that could happen if you're using napkin as a background. It could just start ripping up as you're playing with it. So you just want to be gentle with it. And so that is a way to use napkin as a background for a mixed media piece. And then, you know, just adding it to some other painty pieces and then adding some stamping really adds, you know, makes for a fun piece as well. Adding it, you know, here we just added it, same thing, just did it on envelopes that we cut in half. So now we have that. This one, just super simple and plain. I haven't done anything else to it. I totally could. A little stamping here and there, it might be nice. This one's same. I might add a little bit of, let's see, can we get a little bit of this on here still? A little bit. It's a little bit messy, but that's all right. Let me just flip that over. And I've been kind of sticking with the same. I want to add some, I just stuck my finger right in that. Alright, so sometimes the gesso will kind of protect my fingers a little bit. I definitely want to kind of come across, I'm kind of pointing this in the middle because I don't want it to be on there perfect. but I definitely kind of wanted to overlap both areas to kind of unify it a little bit, you know, like I do. Pressing down here and then that right hand side, and I'm going to push it up there, and I'm going to press up there, and I mean I do know my right from my left. Oh, and then now there's nothing in the middle, so I'm just pressing it in the middle just like that. So a little bit on there. Alright, so tags, pockets, over the page tags or double tags or whatever. See, that's grungy, so definitely we'll want to grungy this up a little bit. Don't mind me. I'm just over here adding, and I like it. And these are in no way finished. There's probably more things I'll want to do to them, but for now, this is where we are. Okay, oh, and this piece, this one's open enough, I might even be able to just use my scissors. So if you don't have an X-Acto knife and you just want to use scissors, if you're really gentle and careful and have really pointy, sharp scissors like I do, you might be okay. Okay, let's see. This envelope, it comes up like that. Okay, let's see if I can find that over here. I can't. It's not easily findable at the moment. Oh, I see it now. I was trying to find this line right here. Because if you remember, this is one that I actually want to use open, since it came open when I coffee dyed it or tea dyed it probably. So, so I figure it'll make for a fun belly band that you then open up. And I'm just gonna, this is torn over here, so I'm just gonna try to tear this over here that you can write in, and then we'll put I've got medallions somewhere, but if I'm trying to use more of the pieces I have, oh, I've got these buttons. One of these buttons might work. If it's big enough, I just need to find one that's big enough. And if I didn't like these buttons, I could always paint over them. Although, you know, I like the turquoise ones. I especially like. Oh, he's interesting. I think he might work in one of the journals also. Oh, the kitties. Okay, so here's, these kitties are so cute. Oh, a little birdie. Too bad he won't hold that closed, because he'd be super cute right there. Do you think he'd hold that if I put the right glue on there? He wouldn't be able to hold it. Oh, I can put him on something. Yes, you're right. That would make sense. Let's see. Let's cut a little circle. How big of a circle? Not a very big circle, but probably bigger than that. Ooh, these would be fun as like whale tail tabs. Is my first thought there. Alright, I'm going to just go ahead and cut a circle anywhere on here, because then that could be kind of like a feature of the tag in the future. You know what I mean? Alright, so this I think will work really cute on there. Alright, so glue, glue, glue. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac for both. So I'm just going to glue the bottom of this, and just to hold that down like that, and I'm going to glue him right on there. If you could put strings through the holes, I'm just choosing not to. Really doesn't matter. He can go in the middle, I guess. What the heck? Oh, it's going right up into the well, that glue is going to dry shiny. We're just going to put, it's like he's in a little nest. It's a little circle nest there. We'll keep him at the bottom, I think. Alright, so there we go. And once that's dry, it'll be a little bit better. But that will be, I'm going to make that a journal. I mean, yeah, journaling spot. That could be glue here and here to make it a belly band kind of a deal. Alright, and we've got this piece, which is also an envelope, which we'll probably cut here or here to make it a pocket. And this piece, and let's see, did we find, oh, and we almost forgot, oh, hold on, we got more pieces that we made. Wow, I made more than I realized, because I had a lot of napkin to use. I think there's still a little bit more napkin. Oh, and we started out with that page. You could add it to a page, add it to an envelope for a pocket, and I made that because squirrels happen. And that, I got little bits of napkin left, so like we used it for a background as one piece, you could also just glue a bunch of little pieces to a page. Be right back. Alright, I know we've gone long, but real quick, I'm just going to take this envelope and I'm just going to glue all my napkin scraps down to it. And when you do that, you can then do all the other things like we did earlier with the gesso and the inks and the paints and the stamping, any of the mixed media stuff that you want to do. I'm not going to worry too much. I'm not going to cut them ahead of time or anything. I'm just going to glue them down. Some of them may get overlapped, but it's a good way to use your, you know, all your excess napkin pieces that you're like, what do I do with this? And a little bit of gesso will help a lot in doing what you want to do. I could overlap them or whatever. I can kind of get them on where the glue is and then tear off the excess. So we could go ahead and do both sides too. Why not? I'm just going to go right over kind of come up in a corner with that. And then come back for the next video and you'll see what I did with it. Or, oh, actually, if you want, I will wait until the next video to do something with it. Which would make sense then if I would just do, you know, just do this then, but that's okay. And you might even just have the same napkin overlapping. It's going to add some texture, which will be fine. Be careful when you are gluing over bits. Gluing over your napkin bits. It could rip. I'm not really too worried about it right now. These are extra bits that I'm just trying to use up. If they rip, oh well. I mean, is that or put them in the trash? And I know a lot of you are like, no, use your stuff. And a lot of us are like, no, I need to throw stuff away. I can't keep everything. Well, here's a way to be able to keep everything. Definitely will need to make sure this dries completely before I can do anything with it, but it's all good. I'm just going to put gently glue across here and glue that down there. So it looks pretty. Two sides. Should only do one side at a time. I'll find something to put in there, or I'll leave it blank. So there we go. We've got an envelope started just using all the spare extra napkin bits, and come back next time to see how we make it look like a really cool background instead of a random weird why'd you put all those things together background. I hope you guys have a delightful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you like best, and if you saw something new, let me know. I don't know that I did anything new. But maybe to you. Maybe you've seen something today that you hadn't seen before. Have a delightful day, guys. Love you. Oh, and just a reminder, this was part of the hashtag How Do You Do. And check the description box for the other participants. And there will be a playlist in my playlists. The How Do You Do playlist. All my How Do You Do videos will be there from the first one and this one and any future ones. Thanks, guys. Love you.